Hello friends, it's Terry with Terry's Mailbox. Welcome to my channel today. I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel when the red arrow shows up in the lower right hand section of your screen. So today I'm working on this mixed media project. Again, I love kind of adding lots of things and putting them together, and I love creating journal books. So you can see here what I'm doing is I've got some Cheerio box fronts that I have cut down to be about 5 by 6 inches, and then I'm actually going to create this journal. So I started by doing the inside. I've got a printed piece 12 by 12 cardstock from a Tim Holtz pad, and I trimmed it down, and now I'm kind of marking where the center of it is. You might have seen I used a ruler to kind of tear the edges so that they were a little bit rough. So right now I'm adding the spine into the very center of this piece of cardstock, and then I'm going to add the two fronts on either side. And I will use a ruler to make sure that I've got them absolutely straight here. So I'm using my tape runner to add adhesive here. And then we'll go ahead and add that. And this is going to create the spine of the book and the inside of the book. So here I am with my T-ruler, just making sure that everything lines up. I don't want my journal book to be wonky. So again, I'm just kind of folding over here to make sure that it all folds together. And there you can see that part there. And I did ink blend on the edges with Vintage Photo. So here I've got a bag that from Amazon, something I ordered, and what I'm doing is I'm using that bag as the cover for my journal book. I thought it looked very very vintagey, just really like the way it came together. So again, I'm just kind of adding all the adhesive. I'm going to pull some collage medium just to make sure that that I get good adhesion. So I'm just going to add that on top of the tape runner. And then I'm going to take that brown bag and line it up. So I was still trying to figure out what direction I wanted in. And I decided to start, fold it over and start at the center so that I could have it somewhat straight. Again, obviously with this type of project, it's not critical, but I wanted it to be somewhat straight. So here I go with that T-ruler again, just kind of lining it up on the edge where I want the edge to be. And I'm just going to tear coming towards me so that I get a little bit of just interest when I ink over it. So again, we'll kind of fold it there. And pull it back. And then one more side here. It just kind of gives it an interesting look as opposed to cutting it with a straight edge. I could have used my decal edge trimmer, I suppose, on the sides, but I thought this was gave it much more of a vintage look. So again, I'm pulling out that Vintage Photo Distress ink. Love that color. Use it a lot just to grunge up edges of things. I think it just really works well. So again, once I've got that all done, we'll start decorating it. So there you can see I've got the front of it. So then I pulled some extra, paper type of things here. And I'm going to just crinkle it up, just crinkle and crumple, and added a little bit of water to it so that it would really, break the fibers in the paper better. And then I'll go ahead and I'm going to add that. I actually put that on the back of the journal book. But I thought it was kind of fun. So we'll put it here on the back to kind of cover up one of those label pieces that I couldn't get out. So then I took it in and stitched it on my little craft stitching machine, and you can see I've got to adjust the tension. I got to kind of play with it, but hey, you know, this is just a journal type of thing. Next thing I did was I took half of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and I'm just trimming the edges with my decal edge trimmer. I'm going to be putting 2 of these craft pieces together to form each page in the book, and I ended up doing 4 pages. So I started off with 8 of these half sheets. I'll go ahead and just, you know, score them in there. And so then I grab my tape runner again, and I'm going to attach them. And you can see there's a trick to how you attach them. You can actually make room for a pocket, either at the top or at the side. So again, I'm just adding all of the tape on here, and you can see on the right-hand side, I'm going to have a pocket at the top, and on the left-hand side, it's going to be a pocket on the side. And then I ended up adding tags. I was thinking I might get through the creation of this entire journal in this video, but oh my goodness, it got so long that I'll have to make that part 2. So again, I'm just kind of trimming to make sure that things are even. And I did that with the other 6 pages as well. So now I'm just kind of trimming some extra pages here. And I'm actually going to use these inside of the journal book kind of as pages in between the pockets. So again, just kind of edging. And again, all of this paper is from an older pad that Tim Holtz had. I've got quite a stash of things I've collected for years. I don't know, how about you? So again, just kind of edging it. Then I pulled out a journal cards, and I'm kind of looking for a couple of pieces that might be interesting to, again, add shorter, smaller pages inside my journal book. So again, I just picked out 2 of them. And then I'm just going to fold them and then wrap them around 2 different of the pockets. And then attach them right in the book when I put the book together. So I've got both of those, and then we'll just put one at the top and one at the bottom of 2 different page sets. Just kind of adds a little bit of interest. So again, here are my 4 pages that I'm going to then stitch inside of the cover. So I took a poker tool and created a bunch of holes here. You can kind of see I'm using that poker on the right. So I ended up doing, let's see, 2 lines of 4 holes so that they could be together. So I've moved on to kind of decorating the front here. So I'm using this stencil and fire brick ink here to add some bright colors. And so just kind of playing with parts here. I have another little journal card here that I stuck there on the bottom right. And then I started playing with the stamps. So again, this is Theories and number 329, and I decided I wanted to put the guy on the tightrope right in the center. So here I'm putting it into my stamp positioner, and we'll just go ahead and stamp. I figured it was going to take me a couple of tries. So I'm starting with this bold sayings. This is number 433. And adding the focus on the good. And you can see here that the D didn't quite stamp all the way, so I had to pull a micron pen out and fill it in. But again, trying right there to see if I can get it to stamp, but in the end, ended up coloring it in. So now I've added that gentleman on the tightrope to the center, and I'm using just black archival ink here, and you can see that, you know, it's taking me a couple of tries because that bag is kind of crumpled. So again, I'm having to work at this a little bit. Getting that all stamped in there. So then I'm going to pull out some of my stamps. This is Field Notes, number 396, which is actually one of my favorites because it's just got a bunch of labels and tags and just, you know, cool things that you can add when you're doing stamping and things. So I ended up using the Barn Door archival, excuse me, to stamp these in. And I stamped the light bulb there, as you can see. Just kind of pulling, you know, I just pulled out a few of my different stamp sets and kind of selected little elements that I thought were kind of cool. So there you see the professor. I thought he was very, very fun. And then I pulled that the saying there, and that, I don't know, bright light, whatever it is, the saying imagination, and then the bright light from the Noble Gent. That's CMS 301, and stamped that on there. And then I added a few little elements. I'll have to put the name of the grouping in the comments for you. But again, so I've got the front is all done. Now I'm going to pull out my waxed string, and a large, I think it's probably a tapestry needle maybe, is what I use to sew my books together. So again, this is that waxed string. And again, it just really, it doesn't slip. It just, you know, it really holds on to each other. So I've cut a piece, and I'm going to go ahead and start at the top and go down from the center out. And again, every time I do one of these books, I thread it differently, but so I'm just kind of figuring out how much of a tail I need. So then I'm going down to the center, top center hole. There are 2 holes there in the center as well. I did one hole an inch from the top and bottom, and then I did two holes in the center, and then made sure that my book holes all line up with it. So again, we'll go ahead and pull that and pull it tight. Then I'm going to go down the next center hole. And then I'm going to come back up at the bottom. And then what I'm doing is I'm tying this piece in. So I'm going to come back to that center, and then I'm going to thread the ends underneath that center piece, one going right to left, the other going left to right, so that I can then knot, just do a regular square knot right here. And again, like I said, I'm using wax thread, so it really does help hold it. So again, I'll do my square knot, and then I'll trim that, and then I'm going to go ahead and start the second piece. And what I did was I did 2 of the page folders through each one of the holes. So this time I'm starting again at the top, leaving myself a little bit of a tail. And so then I decided to kind of do something fancy here and just kind of twist and, you know, twirl it around as I was going on my way to that center thing. It just kind of adds a little bit of interest to the outside. I've done things like added, you know, like the little trinket things, the little tags and metal tags and things on other books, you know, from ideology. I've done that in the past too, which is kind of fun. I didn't end up doing that here, but another fun thing that you can add. So again, just coming back up and through. And again, I twirled it around there. Now I'm coming back, guess what, to the center. So again, one right to left and one in left to right. And I'm going to go ahead and tie a square knot here. So there is that piece. So again, that shows you how each one of the two are put together, and then I used the put the other two in the other holes towards the back of the book. So here's the entire book, and you can see it's made out of that Amazon mailbag. So again, here is the front, back, and the cover, and so there is the inside, which we started with the cereal box, and then it's stitched around the outside, and all these fun little stamps on here. So remember, it's just an 8.5 by 11 piece cut in half and then assembled so that you have those openings. And so you see here, I'll just kind of flip through. There's kind of my little half pages with the paper and the journal cards. And then I've got tags put in each one of the openings. So again, ultimately, I'll end up decorating that. So again, here is the front of the journal book. I hope you've enjoyed my tour today. And again, it's Terry with Terry's Mailbox. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Blogger, and YouTube. I'd love to have you come and subscribe. Have a great day.